New Hampshire House Majority Leader Jason Osborne is expressing regret for using a racial slur on an internet message board a decade ago. The post was on the forum Free Talk Live in 2011. It resurfaced online earlier this week. In a debate over how to deal with people with offensive viewpoints, Osborne used a highly offensive epithet for black people, the N-word, repeatedly, writing, quote, "If someone says to you that they support lynching a N-word, and in fact they really are stimulated by the thought of lynching a N-word, would you associate with that person? Would you tell people about it? If you say that having an idea that lynching N-words is good and not the same as having an idea that expletive kids is good, then that is the source of the disconnect here." In an initial statement to News 9, Osborne said, quote, "I do not recall writing this nearly decade-old post, which regrettably contains language I would not use today. I was a different person 10 years ago who would not have understood the impact of that type of comment. And given the context, the goal of the post was to condemn racism and pedophilia. This is not how I communicate today, and I would never condone such a statement now. I am not the first person to have written something in the past that they deeply regret, and I will not be the last." Osborne did make additional posts on the site questioning the need for a legal age of consent for sex and using demeaning language about women's bodies in reference to public breastfeeding. Thursday afternoon, House Democrats called for Osborne to be removed from leadership.
Using the N-word, berating women, talking about child pornography, I mean, it's deeply, deeply concerning.
Osborne provided a subsequent statement to News 9 saying, quote, "Out of the numerous inappropriate comments made by members during my tenure as Majority Leader, I have never called for anyone to resign or be removed from their position. I do not expect others to hold me to a standard I would not hold them." He goes on to say, quote, "I have changed since writing those posts. I credit the late Speaker Hinch with seeing that if I can evolve from being a radical to an effective member of the legislature, then I can mentor other members to be productive and work toward benefiting New Hampshire as well." News 9 asked Governor Chris Sununu if he believes Osborne should be removed from House leadership over the old posts. A spokesman replied with a statement saying, quote, "No matter the context, these words are horribly inappropriate and wrong. Representative Osborne's unequivocal remorse and apology is certainly warranted." Adam Sexton, WMUR, News 9.